Are you positive that we will get a regulator, or will it be down to self-regulation once more?
You know, thank you so much, Caroline, for having me, and thank you also. This is such an important issue, and just hearing what CEO Musk was talking about, how AI is really going to impact all of our lives, medical, financial, educational. So this conversation that's happening with the senators is so important. We are going to see regulation. The only question will be whether the United States moves first. What we've got we're very close to right now is legislation being adopted in Europe to govern AI, and we're expecting that by December 2023. So the issue is there are 37 countries in 6 continents that have draft legislation already before their legislatures, and Europe looks like it'll go first with the US behind.
And EU sort of shifted tone. Originally, it felt as though they were going to be regulating the application of AI, but then suddenly it turned its attention more to the actual building of the foundational models. That seems to be an argument being pushed back against at least some US CEOs. They don't want to see the building of foundational models being under some sort of scope here. Is that already thrown out with the bathwater?
I think this is going to be an ongoing debate, and there's a discussion at the U.S. level and also the international level about having the actual deployers, the users of the AI, having guardrails, as well as the providers and the foundation models as well, the generative AI, large language models. So I think we're starting to see proposals like the one that came out yesterday with Senator Blumenthal and Hawley. They have a framework that would encompass the large language models as well as the other types of AI.
Dominique, when Elon Musk was speaking just a few moments ago, he gave the analogy of acting on AI safety as being akin to the seatbelt, that with the seatbelt, action came after many tragedies and crashes, and he just wants to be proactive rather than reactive. Is that an approach that you think will work based on what DC is saying right now?
Yes, I think it's very exciting to see this number of CEOs. We have literally the most important and largest tech companies that are present in DC right now to discuss this issue, because they do see it as being important and they are being proactive. I think it's wonderful that the academics are there as well, and the community groups are present at Senator Schumer's forum, because the point is that we all need to grapple with these issues together. There is going to need to be a communication from proactive steps taken by the leadership of our tech companies, and they're doing that just by their presence, being present to have these very important discussions. So I'm excited for the future.
Dominique, do you get the sense that policymakers, legislators, are as collaborative on this issue as the private sector is? They're actually engaging on it with those that are leading the development of the technology?
Yes, what I'm seeing is cross-party in the U.S., cross-party and bipartisan support around answering the call of many of these CEOs to put in place the opportunities and governance and guardrails that will allow AI to be just amazing. So what we want is the ability to innovate and create understanding where there are limits or areas where safety needs to come first. And this is something that the regulators and the business community are aligning on. I also will say what's good this time is that there is also the use of research scientists, large language model experts, to engage them on how this technology actually works, and therefore how we can craft common sense legislation.
What isn't being talked about?
What's not being talked about are the nitty-gritty of the sort of unanimity of thinking around the world in terms of what the legislation should look like. What we're seeing all around the world is a focus on ranking, risk ranking of AI, focus on high risk, treating that differently than we're treating low risk AI. There's also a focus on testing and monitoring and auditing of the systems themselves to make sure that they are amazing and they're doing exactly what the companies want them to do and what the public wants. And so I'm very excited for the way the legislation, the draft legislation has been put together, and the framework that has been floated in frameworks being floated in Washington as well as around the world, because we're getting at tackling the actual governance that will make AI amazing.
Dominique, Caroline and I speak to companies and executives of all shapes and sizes and sectors, and they're talking the talk, and it's really hard for us to discern if they're walking the walk. Do you see clients actually spending money and hiring the right people to operationalize any of what we've just discussed?
Absolutely. You know, what has been so exciting and what we've seen, we have an AI task force that we put together at our firm because it's a cross-disciplinary issue. And every day I'm speaking to clients that are from Fortune 500 companies that are very serious about getting AI governance right. They are already looking at draft legislation and mapping to that now so that they are prepared and ready to pivot when final regulations come in. They're going to be already ahead of the game. That's the way to approach this, because as Mr. Musk said earlier, regulation is going to come. And so the key here is really being prepared. And we're seeing clients and companies every day. I talk to clients and companies that are laser focused on getting this right and being amazing with their AI.